Hello my lovely soulmates, and welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is 2023. I am so excited. This year just looks so promising. There's just so much I'm working on, and I'm excited for everything, all the challenges and all of the blessings that this new year has to bring. So last year I did drop a bomb, and there's so much that I wanted to say after I dropped that video, and there's so much that I did not want to say. So I took my time and really sat on what I was feeling, and I wrote it down. So I was gonna just post it, but then I felt like there's just so much I wanted to say, so I decided to make a video instead. I'll probably still post what I wrote in the description, because I don't know that I'll be able to get out all of my feelings and everything that I want to say. I don't know if I'll be able to say it the way I said it when I sat down and wrote down what I was feeling. But obviously there are some things that I have to address, and my hopes, which are only hopes, right? My hopes is that in addressing it, we could just lay it to rest. Truly and really lay it to rest. There's so many other things I want to talk to you guys about, and I don't want this topic to continue to come up. But given the circumstances and the situation, it probably will come up again. And let me get into why I even made that video, because obviously you guys keep talking because I keep giving you things to talk about. So, Ellie, why did you decide to make that video? I'm gonna try to be as open and honest on this platform as I have since day one. So first and foremost, it is never easy to be vulnerable. It is never easy to be open and to put your pain and the things you aren't proud of, your mistakes, your decisions, your trauma out there. That's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to admit you were wrong. It's not an easy thing to do, to just put your pain out there in hopes of sparing someone from ever having experienced what you did. And it takes bravery to do that. I did it knowing I would get a lot of backlash for it. I understand some people think it's coming from a space of malicious, or that I'm a angry ex or whatever it may be. I'm not angry. I've actually never been angry, at least not on this platform. I have been angry in life and I was really angry at a certain point, but since leaving that house, anger is not something that has driven me. If I was angry, I would have went about this completely differently. And you guys think you know a lot. You don't even know a tenth. So if I was a scorned, angry woman, there's a lot I would have done. And there's a lot I would have said. And I would have done it ages ago. So I didn't do that. I did it my way, and it's how I wanted to do it, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why. But my reason for doing it, first and foremost, was I wanted to have an open and honest conversation about a topic that I feel does not get discussed, because it's nothing I ever sat and listened to prior. And so I wish I had known some information about this. And it's like, yes, it's a taboo thing, and obviously it happens, and I heard it, but I've never heard anyone be honest about what they had experienced and how they ended up in that situation. So I felt like, you know what? I will be brave and I will put it out there, because I'm hoping to save somebody else. Now, I will be honest with you guys. When me and my best friend decided to do the video, we were we had a conversation prior about it, and we kind of had like notes that we wanted to touch on. He had no idea I was going to be as open as I was, and I actually had no idea I was going to be as open as I was, and actually give concrete like stuff, like experience that I had, right? Because we were just supposed to touch on a topic, but I just felt like if I was gonna go into the conversation, then it had to be authentic and it really had to be helpful. And for me, having someone on this platform who is extremely dishonest and uses women as a cover-up, for me, I felt like I have to be brave enough to do it. And so I decided to do it. And yes, I strategically did not name the person. And if you're wondering, why didn't you just say his name? Because mama didn't raise a fool. It's just as simple as that. I'm no fool. So I will give you guys information that you know exactly who I'm talking about without me having to say his name. So yeah, I wanted to be open and honest and give as much information as I could. And I'm not sorry about that. I'm sorry. Like, and I knew it at that moment when I was recording that I was like, who am I doing this video for? And who am I protecting? And at the end of the day, I'm protecting women like me. And so my loyalty is to other women. It's not to protect a man that has been protected his entire life. That's not where my loyalty is. My loyalty are to other women and always will be, especially other women like myself. So that's why I made the video. I made it to a certain audience, and I felt like I reached the audience that I wanted to reach. Thank you guys for your emails, your messages, your comments, everything that we've spoken about, whether publicly or privately. I appreciate you guys reaching out to me and us having an open and honest conversations about what it is that we are experiencing. To the other women that were in my shoes, are currently in my shoes, or my video brought them clarity, my heart is with every single one of you guys. I think what upset me when I first released the video is a couple of things, I'll be honest. One of them is downplaying the severity of the situation. So an STD or an STI, it's not as simple for women as like, oh, she has an itchy scratchy. No. When a woman catches an STD or an STI, or HIV or anything like that, it attacks her reproductive system, her reproductive organs, or her organs in general. So it causes sometimes irreversible damage to her body and ultimately to her life. And so it's way more serious than I think some people realize. It could be very detrimental. And so for me, like I said in that first video, and I will repeat myself, we had very clear rules and boundaries within our relationship. It was not open, that we were open physically to other people. And we had spoken about, if we ever got to that point that we would be open to other people, how we would go about it to protect each other first and foremost, to protect ourselves. So those boundaries were obviously crossed, just like every other boundary in that relationship. So yeah, I ended up paying the price for that. And me coming here and being honest and saying that this happened to me, that's not me playing a victim. So here's the second part that really irked my nerves about some of the response that I received from the video, which is not surprising whatsoever. I mean, we just watched publicly a woman get shot and then go to trial and win, And people are still calling her a clout chaser, an attention seeker, a liar. She's crying crocodile tears. She's playing victim. As women, sometimes we just cannot win. And the thing is, I watched this woman try to protect that man. And I watched her pain just get dragged in the streets. People tarnish her name and her reputation simply because she actually legitimately was a victim of some situation. Whether she played a part in getting herself in that situation or not, the fact of the matter is someone did something to hurt her and cause her immense pain. She could have lost her foot, lost her career, lost herself as a person. And so the idea that a woman goes through something and when she is able to open up about it and talk about it, that she's playing victim. That's crazy. I've said it literally so many times. I'm not even going to repeat myself about me not being a victim of anyone or anything. But let me tell you guys the process of healing and how it works. When you're actually healing, you not only have to come to terms with and accept what was done to you, you also have to come to terms with and accept what you did to yourself. Let me explain myself. So you have to come to terms with the fact that you played a part in allowing that treatment. Something is broken within you that you felt that it was okay for someone to mishandle you in the way that they did, for you to get yourself caught up in the way that you did, to tolerate what you tolerated, to allow and accept what you allowed and accepted, and the situations and things that you put yourself into. There has to be accountability when you're healing is what I'm saying. So the idea, oh, she's just playing victim, she's not taking no responsibility, is absolutely bonkers. But I understand that you guys speak from a space of not knowing enough because we're not actually saying everything, but you actually think that you know everything, which is kind of weird, but I guess that's how these platforms work. That's how social media works, right? You get a little bit, you think you know it all, that's fine. But no, I don't think I'm a victim. I took full accountability. I was in that trenches. I dug out of that trenches. I got myself up out of there, and I understood exactly how I got there. When I left, I analyzed every aspect of that situation. Actually, before I left, I analyzed everything, but especially after I left, I kind of put everything in front of me and analyzed everything to see how the hell did I end up here. So yeah, and I just want to say, as a Scorpio, especially since everybody want to bet, oh, she's a Scorpio with a stinger. Yeah, she is, but y'all haven't seen my stinger. Like, not even a little bit. But as a Scorpio, we are always looking within ourselves, within every situation, taking accountability for the parts we play in it. So a huge part of the reason why I stayed even as long as I stayed is because I was always like, okay, Elli, what did you do to get yourself in this situation? And so I was actually taking too much accountability and blaming myself for someone's actions or someone mistreating me. I was taking accountability for everything. I was like, okay, you pushed them too far. You did this. You should have never did that, or he wouldn't have done that. So when it comes to taking accountability, I took it. I took it. And you know what? Now I'm speaking on it. And I might not speak on every single thing. I'm okay with that. And I said, I hope y'all are okay with that. A lot of y'all are not okay with it. A lot of you guys want it all. And I'm not going to give it all. I'm just not. One, because of my own healing. Two, because of my family and the people that love me. And three, because for what purpose? Literally, Like, you guys could have all the evidence. I could give you everything I have, post it and give it all to you, and you would still look at it and dismiss it. You still look at it, she's playing victim. You still look at, she made that up. That's her friend did that, her friend posted that. I could show y'all clear evidence of every single thing, and y'all would still say she's lying. So, am I gonna put myself through that for your validation? I'm not, because I'm not chasing your validation. I'm simply here to heal and to show other women, listen, if no one else on this app is doing it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep it 100 and let you know, yeah, this is the situation I got myself into. And I too thought I would have never gotten into it. And I thought I was too good as well. And I thought I was too smart. But guess what? I'm brave enough to admit that I'm not perfect. And I failed myself in every single way. But I also didn't stay down. I got up. I got up and I kept it pushing. And today, I am no longer in that situation by the grace of God. It's easy to sit on this platform and give an illusion of perfection. It's easy to sit on this platform and act like I live the perfect life, one without mistakes, and I'm not human, I'm perfect, and I always make the perfect decisions, end up with the perfect people, live a perfect life, drive a perfect car, and live in a perfect house. And I have a perfect family. Like, it's so easy to pretend, give you guys a fake life and a facade. And I think a huge part of social media and why there's a such thing as influencers is because people love the idea of perfection. They like to think that other people's lives are perfect, and maybe that someday their lives can be perfect. I'm not really sure why that is, and that's a whole different topic that I'm not going to get into. But what I can say is it's also easy for you guys to sit in your self-righteous seats and feel as if you're somehow better. And maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe I am the only person that's ever tolerated something that maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I'm alone in the fact that I don't know, stayed in a situation longer than I should. Believed someone when they were telling me I was the love of their lives and they would never hurt me, and all the lies. Maybe I'm the only person that's ever just avoided a topic or brushed something under the carpet just to avoid conflict in my relationship. Maybe I'm the only person that's ever overlooked a red flag. I know that's not the case. So, but it's so easy for you guys to sit where you sit and say, how? How did she not see that? I would have saw it. I would have done this. If I was in her situation, I would have, I should have, I could have. That's so easy for you to do when you're not the person living it. You were not in my situation. Maybe if you were, you would have made way better choices and decisions than I did. Maybe you would have seen the things I overlooked. Or maybe you wouldn't have. Maybe what I went through would have broken you. I don't know. We'll never know. That's life. So I'm not going to hear what you should have, could have, would have done if you were in my situation, because by the grace of God, you were not in my situation. I was. And so I know I handled it the best way that I could, and I make peace with that. So if you're a better woman than me, then cheers to you. But I also know that social media provides a platform where people are able to look at strangers and feel like they're so much better than them because they could have made so many more better decisions than them, right? We see it every day on social media, the shade room, everything that people do. There's hundreds and thousands of comments of people who would have done it so much better than them. So I just have to say that I'm very proud of myself and how I've handled everything that was tossed at me last year. I used it all to stand taller on, and I'm a much better person because of it. And so I also know that no other woman in that situation will have to go through what I went through. I know that the lessons I taught this person will teach them to never do this to somebody else. Because I'm not a teenage girl that didn't have anything, that was easily manipulated. I was a 30-year-old woman that was underestimated. So hopefully this person will never make that mistake again. And will leave us grown-ass women the hell alone. So yeah. And so I'll continue to be authentic, and I'll continue to be myself, and I'll continue to be honest. And if that leads to people thinking less of me, well, I'm okay with that, because I know who I am, and the people in my life also know who I am, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with who I am. And at the end of the day, I know when I'm down and out who has been there to pick me up. And as much as I love my online supporters, my real life supporters are the people who are really there in the times that I've needed them, when I've needed to be picked up in real life. You know, I think the thing that we get mixed up with this online life is that some people could confuse it for reality, and not knowing that in a split second, this could all go away. And if you don't cherish the people in your real life, then when this goes away, you have nothing. And that's extremely sad. And that's a lot of people's reality, is without you, they're nothing and no one. Without the perception you have of them, they're stuck with their reality, and their reality is pitiful and sad. So I'm grateful that I'm not in that situation. So I don't only give grace to God for saving my whole life and removing me from that situation, but for blessing me with a support system that is just unwavering. And that's strong. And so I'll continue to build my real life support as well as my online support. But I don't depend on either. I have a supporter that's bigger than all support systems. He catches me every time I fall. He was there with me, battling in the trenches, and he put more in my hands than I could have ever even prayed for. I mean, some people are like, what are the odds? You have no idea what the odds are. When I got on my knees and prayed, you don't know what this man gave me and put in my hands. So if you're listening to this, just know that God has you in a way that nothing and no one in this world will have you. Get down on your knees and pray, and I promise you, He's gonna deliver in a way you couldn't even have fathomed. So yeah, I'm not here to convince you guys to believe me. I'm not here to prove anything. Quite frankly, I don't even care. To the women that this message was supposed to reach, it reached. And so for the rest of y'all that, I don't care. It was not for you. If that message didn't reach you, it wasn't for you. And you're looking for me to prove something to you, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. And I know a lot of you guys thought that I was malicious. Maybe you think I'm a terrible person for outing somebody, even though I never said his name. I don't really care. I really don't care one bit. I lived it, okay? You might not have lived it, and so you don't know what I know, but I lived it. So there's nothing that you can make me feel bad about this person. Unfortunately, you guys cannot make me feel bad about anything I actually experienced. I lived this life, I lived this nightmare, and I got out of it. And so I'm gonna use my experience however I see fit. See, what you guys might not understand is that I'm an artist. Naturally, giftedly, I'm an artist. I express myself through art, whether it's in writing form, in video now that I've learned how to do it. I draw, I paint. That's how I put my pain and I turn it into art. It's what I do, it's what I've always done. And so you're like, oh, you know, I look so animated, or this is like a production or whatever. I'm a content creator at the end of the day. And yeah, this is a form of expression and this is art. So I'm turning my pain into some sort of art. And if you don't get it, I don't care. And if that makes me a terrible person in your eyes, again, I really don't care. Because I know who I am and I'm okay with that. I am okay with it all. I know I don't hurt people in real life. Okay? I don't hurt people. So you might say, oh, Ellie, this is hurting him. This is not. Nothing has changed over there. Nothing will change over there. Me speaking my truth don't change nothing over there. I'm simply using my truth to hopefully spare other women in many different ways. And I just got started, so buckle up, buttercups. Buckle up. My loyalty has been and always will be to good women and men out there. So whoever needs to hear my videos, they're gonna be here for you. This is where we have open, honest, real conversations, like I said before. So if this is not the space for you, it's okay. It's okay. All of those people with like these crazy, harsh opinions of me, unfortunately, I will never take into consideration people's opinions when they have the least amount of information. The least amount of information about me, about my life, about what I've lived through, my experiences. You guys have the least amount of information. So I could never take your opinion about me into consideration. I take my opinion about me into consideration. I take the people who do have the most amount of information, my family, my friends, the people in my life, God. I mean, the only people's opinions I will actually take into consideration. So I hope y'all understand. I know that the social media space that we're in, it confuses you guys. And we come on here and we give you a little bit of information and you guys think you have the whole picture. And I literally, when I say I haven't even given y'all a tenth, like not even a little bit. So to sit on any platform and speak of it as if you know factuals about it is absolutely bonkers. But again, that's what this space is for. So I'm not gonna stop y'all from saying whatever it is that you wanna say, but just know that what you do say doesn't impact, because again, we have all the information and you don't. So yeah, there's that. All right, sorry guys, my mind is like all over the place. I'm like trying to keep track of like what points I wanted to make, what I wanted to say, what I didn't want to say, what things I wanted to address. Oh, there's so many comments about like, oh, this person said it and you just believed it, you just ran with it. No, I just gave you guys an example of how I truly found out that that person was ultimately getting with men. That I found out in that moment. So I took it and I dug. I sat, there's so much that I know that I sat on until I collected everything I needed. And once I had collected everything, because here's what a Scorpio is not going to do with you. I don't know if you've never dealt with one before, but what we're not going to do is go back and forth. That's what we're not gonna do. So when we're good and ready to leave, there's literally nothing to talk about as to why I'm out the door. Because I'm gonna give it to you and show you. These are the reasons. So for you to think that I just heard something and I was like, oh my God, no. I collected all the proof and all the evidence I needed, because I don't go by what people say. I'm gonna go find out exactly what it is. So yeah, again, like I said, I didn't even say a tenth on that video. It was part of a conversation, and I truly kept it relevant to what we were talking about, because I don't need to put every single thing out there for y'all. So that video that I made with my best friend, it was not a tell-all. I didn't tell barely anything. It was simply a conversation, a topic, and I felt like I kept it relevant to the topic. Yeah, I let it be known who I was talking about and what exactly happened, but not everything that happened, and not everything that I know, and not everything that I have. I mean, but not everything is for social media. Some things are truly just for us. So yeah, I feel like I gave y'all enough. And again, the people it was meant to reach, it reached. The people who are here simply to collect little evidence, you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. So if I was you, I wouldn't be speaking too loudly, because you really don't know nothing at all. So I would just tread lightly is all I'm gonna say. Sorry guys, my mind is all over the place. I'm like trying to filter myself as I talk. It's really exhausting. I hope one day I could just speak completely and utterly open on this platform, but I guess you have to filter yourself to some degree for your own well-being and for others. I truly want to walk into this new year with purpose. I have been given so much, and I allow God to truly speak to me, and I allow him to use me and use my pain and use whatever it is that he sees fit for other people. And so I'm going to continue to do that in the best way that I can, whether it's on this app or off this app. It's just who I am. And so I'm glad that I have people in my life that continuously remind me of who I am. And I'm also grateful that God keeps me rooted in reality and not this social media fantasy world. So hopefully we can go into this new year in a different space. And if we do anything at all, whether it's on this app or off this app this year, is let's keep it freaking for real. Okay? And obviously to my lovely, lovely soulmates that have been rocking with me and sending me so many inspirational videos and little messages and stuff like that, I truly appreciate you guys and I adore you. And hopefully this year brings abundance to all of you and your families. I appreciate the love and the support that you guys show me on this platform and off on other platforms as well. I absolutely adore you guys. This is gonna catch someone completely by surprise, but I want to show her some love publicly, and I know I'm gonna catch a lot of heat for this, and quite frankly I don't really care anymore. I'm just gonna do whatever I want on this platform as well, off of it as well. But yeah, so this message is for a special soulmate, Anisha Danielle. So if you're not Anisha, you go ahead and leave. But Anisha Danielle, I absolutely adore you for so many reasons. And I know some of you guys might be confused, like, oh my God, Elli, but she said this and she said that. Okay, so I met Anisha, not met, but Anisha first reached out to me in the beginning of my relationship with my ex. She reached out to me when we came out about the open relationship topic. She was very confused, very upset, and she just came to me as like one black woman to another, like, what are you doing? And I remember being so like taken aback by her honesty. And I was warned to stay miles and miles away from this person because she was just such a horrible person. But the message I received from her, it came from such a place that I can respect. She just came at me from like one black woman to another, like I said, and she was just like, you out here embarrassing us, like, what are you doing? She was calling me out left and right, and I could respect that. So I remember having a conversation with her, and I opened up to her and I told her, like, you know, exactly what was going on with that. Like, I explained it all to her, and she was like, oh, okay. And she understood exactly what was going on, and she never said a thing. So Anisha, if you're listening to this, thank you so much. Like, you could have dragged everyone on that team. And I know the perception is that you hate those people. And maybe there's a part of you that might hate some of them or extremely dislike them or disappointed in them. But you could have dragged everything I told you all up and through this app and made your coin and made good coin. And you never did. You never spoke on the things that I told you and the things that I confided in you. And you were one of the only people in my life I actually was talking to as things were happening. And so you cheered us on when things were great, and you gave me advice when I was confused, and you cried with me when I was devastated, and you went through the waves with me, and you never folded. You never came on this app and outed anyone, and you had the platform to be able to do so, and you kept it quiet. And I remember towards the end, when it was hard for you to stay quiet, because there's so much that you knew, and you allowed my name to get dragged, and you cried to me on the phone about like just not being able to speak up or not wanting to speak up for me. And just know that you had loyalty to me that even people that I know in my real life and friends that I thought were friends didn't have towards me. So for that, you will always have my love and my support. And I'm not talking on this app. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in real life. You are my real life friend. And I absolutely adore you. I appreciate you. I know you're very misunderstood, which is fine. I'm very misunderstood as well. But I know you to your core because you showed me who you were in areas where I know a lot of people would have cracked and folded with the information you had in your hands, and you never cracked and folded on me. So publicly, I want to say thank you. And I want to let you know that you have some friends in high places off this app. And our loyalty cannot be bought. So there aren't a lot of people like us. And so, girl, no matter what these people say about you, I know who you are. I got your back no matter what, because you had mine when I needed it most. No matter what, you never folded, you never cracked, and you never came out and said all that you know. And I know this person thinks you hate him, but I know if you hated him, you and I both know what you would have did with what you had in your hands. So you're one of a kind. And I know some people will never see that, but just know that I see it. I see you because you showed me who you were in many times, and you never come out and use the information that I give you as some sort of means to make a coin when you could have, like I said, I had friends who did it, who did it, and they were in way better situations than you're in, and they folded to cash, and you never did. So for that, I truly appreciate you, and I will never, ever take your loyalty and your friendship for granted. And again, some of you soulmates might be confused if you're still here listening, but if there's one thing I'm gonna do on this app is keep it a buck. And so Anisha Danielle is certainly my friend. I absolutely adore her. She calls me out when she knows I'm on some BS, and she calls out other people on it as well. And so they might think that that's hate, but me personally, I respected her for it. And through that, we built a friendship, and she had my back in many occasions, and I appreciate you. So I love you. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk, or whatever this was. This was all over the place, Lord Jesus. Yeah, if you stayed this long, thank you guys. I absolutely adore you, soulmates. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will catch you in the next video.